I think it's
I don't know
really
anybody else.
interesting. I think it's really interesting though to push it to the always push it to the extreme. And so let's imagine that like someone is just a deadbeat. So what do we as a society want to do about that? Right? Like my bet would be that if someone has no activity that they want to engage in, they're actually suffering from some kind of profound depression. And they probably need support. If all they want to do is just passively consume TV, right? Then or just sit on the couch staring into space. Well, maybe they're meditating. You know, maybe they're thinking deep, profound thoughts that are going to change the world. When in 5 years' time, after they've finished their contemplation, they open their mouth. But let's say they're not. Let's say that somebody is actually just sitting there thinking hateful thoughts about how they wish everyone else would suffer, right? Still, what are we going to do as a society with that person? What's our plan?
Yeah, so it's the whole libertarianism thing, right? Like everything is okay unless it harms people. But generally, like I'm pretty optimistic about these people that are doing nothing, because I ultimately have found that in most cases, people haven't found their thing yet, right? Or they're still exploring the world, and it's more important to give them the freedom to explore, to find the thing where they just naturally get up and do something. Because really, what seems to be the case is that it's actually the jobs, the bullshit jobs, or the career that they never chose, or the career that their parents imposed on them, that actually keeps them from finding their thing. I mean, for you, Austin, I mean, it's probably hosting podcasts and media, or whatever, and you've probably strategically kept out of bullshit jobs enough to maybe get this far. I don't know. Like, I wouldn't say you're useless. You're at least doing this. Something.
Oh, I don't think I'm useless. I think I'm incredibly important. But that's
yeah,
a whole
but I
other
mean,
story.
even like, there may not be any money here, but I mean, like this, there's reinforcement there in that. Oh, okay, so Austin put this thing on, and there's these 10 other losers that like had nothing else better than to show up. But it's like,
this is relevant.
Yeah.
I think I used to try and make a living from journalism. So I was a philosophy grad, and I was in Lebanon, and a war broke out while I was there, and I started blogging just because I thought it was an important and good thing to do, to bear witness to the suffering of the people who were there. And then I got picked up and it got published in a newspaper, and that gave me the idea that I could make money out of doing it. And then I spent 10 years chasing a career in journalism, and I did some work that I'm proud of, and then other work that I'm less proud of. And the correlation.
That's the flip side of it. Yeah.
The correlation between the work that I got paid that I got paid best for, and the work that I'm most proud for is not good.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, yeah, that's the thing. Like, I like to tell young people, like, to do as many shitty jobs as possible in like every possible industry that they're potentially interested in, right? Because just because you were able to get paid for this doesn't mean that it's necessarily the best application of your time to get paid, right? It just so happened that you really chased this thing for 10 years. Maybe you should have explored other thing. I don't know. But at the end of the day, like, I'm just talking about just this event. Like, someone might be thinking they're the only person on the planet or in Australia that cares about UBI, and then like maybe they don't have anyone else to talk to, and then they look at this thing, and then they feel more more apt to voice their support for it, because hey, this is actually a community. There's people talking about this, and and whatever. I mean, like, this little things like this, build up. Great things from small beginnings. I think it was. Somebody, right? Somebody
From
said
little
that.
things, big things grow. It was a Paul Kelly song about the way he'll
walk out. There's a Latin saying. I think it was Sir Francis Drake who said that. Hopefully, I had that right. But anyway, probably for somebody else.
So Austin, can I speak? Or
please go ahead, Michael.
I was just going to say, one of the biggest bullshit jobs is actually the job of being unemployed, right? And going through all the bloody hoops to get the money, and then to find that, okay, if I take some extra work, that's going to reduce my benefit, and then I got to weigh up the cost of doing that, and then having to re-employ and reapply for the money and all that sort of stuff. And especially if I rationally become, quotes, disabled because I'm 55 and I've got no hope of getting another job, and now I have to actually sit around on my bum and I can't do anything at all, because if I seem to be doing anything, I'll lose my benefit. And so we're actually creating unemployed do bullshit jobs.
You can't go coach a kid's footy team or be that mentor figure or or do
No.
something that might be
Do anything.
productive, because then you'll get busted for not being sick enough and you'll get kicked off your payment.
Or that's right, or even just doing some part-time work that you physically might be able to do for a few hours a day or whatever. Can't do any of that. Can't do work around your house, doing repairs and lifting stuff, because, well, if you're not sitting on your bum, you'll end up losing your benefit.
Yeah, and just the paperwork.
Okay, so
And the paperwork.